Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a moment and feel something. Feel the fire that's inside you, the energy that has been lying dormant, waiting for a signal to rise. Because right now, in this very room, in this very moment, I need you to understand something deeply, powerfully, and undeniably you are capable of extraordinary change. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today, right now. The potential within you is not a vague possibility. It is a living, breathing force that can redefine the path of your life, rewrite your story, and break through any limitation that's held you back. The question is simple. Will you step into it? Will you decide that the life you've been dreaming about, the growth you've been yearning for, the impact you've imagined making is not just a fantasy, but a reality waiting for you to claim it? The journey of transformation begins not with luck, not with circumstance, but with a decision. And once you make that decision, once you say enough to doubt, to fear, to hesitation, everything changes. You will see doors open where walls once stood. You will find strength you didn't know you had. And you will discover that the life you thought was possible is only the beginning of what you are truly capable of. Key point number 1 is all about recognizing the untapped potential that exists within each and every one of us. Many people live their lives without ever realizing the vast power and capabilities that are already inside them, waiting for the right moment or the right spark to be unleashed. The human mind and spirit are incredibly resilient, adaptable, and creative, but most of the time we allow external circumstances, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs to convince us that we are ordinary or incapable of extraordinary feats. Understanding your potential starts with self-awareness, with taking a moment to look inward and acknowledge that the energy, creativity, and strength required to transform your life already reside within you. This awareness is not about arrogance or imagining that you are above anyone else. It is about recognizing that you possess unique gifts, talents, and capacities that can create meaningful change not only in your life, but also in the lives of those around you. Potential is like a seed. It contains everything needed to grow into something magnificent, but it requires nurturing, attention, and action. Often people underestimate the simple truth that greatness begins with the small realization that you are capable of more than you've ever allowed yourself to believe. Your history, your mistakes, your fears, they do not define your boundaries. They are merely experiences that can inform the way you harness your inner power. To tap into your potential, you must first cultivate a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles that limit you. Every obstacle you encounter is a test, a chance to stretch your abilities, and a reminder that the strength you need to overcome it is already within you. When you embrace this awareness, you begin to notice how much you have been holding back, how many possibilities you have ignored, and how many doors you have avoided opening out of fear. Potential thrives on belief and action. It requires that you consciously choose to see yourself not as a passive participant in life, but as the creator of your own destiny. The journey toward realizing your full potential is both deeply personal and universally human, a path that every individual must walk for themselves. It demands courage, persistence, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths about who you are and who you can become. And yet the reward is profound, because once you begin to recognize and access your inherent capabilities, life itself begins to respond differently. Opportunities that once seemed unreachable start appearing. Confidence grows naturally, and the energy you bring to every decision, every relationship, every project is infused with a sense of purpose and possibility. The awareness of your potential transforms not only what you do, but how you perceive yourself, how you interact with the world, and how you approach every moment with the understanding that extraordinary change is not just a dream, but a reality waiting to be claimed. Key point number 2 revolves around the incredible power of decision and the pivotal role it plays in creating meaningful change. Change does not begin with hope, with wishing, or with planning alone. It begins the moment you make a conscious choice to take control of your life and direct it toward the future you desire. Every transformation, every breakthrough, every extraordinary achievement starts with a decision, a commitment that you are no longer willing to remain where you are, thinking about what could be, but are ready to act and become. The power of decision is rooted in personal responsibility. It is the recognition that your life is not merely a product of circumstance, luck, or other people's actions, but is shaped by the choices you make consistently and intentionally. Many people wait for external conditions to align perfectly before acting, convincing themselves that the right moment will come. But the truth is that there is no perfect moment. Waiting only delays progress, while a decisive action, no matter how small, ignites momentum that propels you forward. Making a decision requires clarity, courage, and a willingness to accept the consequences that come with it. It is not enough to simply want change. You must decide to act, to take ownership of the steps required, and to commit to the journey even when the path is uncertain. This commitment is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. When you make a true decision, you shift your internal state. You stop seeing yourself as a passive observer and start seeing yourself as an active participant in creating your reality. Your mind, energy, and focus align with that choice, drawing opportunities, resources, and strategies toward you in ways that would never occur if you remained indecisive. It is in the act of choosing that clarity emerges, fear begins to dissipate, and your confidence grows. Decision creates movement, and movement generates momentum, which is essential for any extraordinary change. Even decisions that feel small or inconsequential accumulate over time, building a trajectory of progress that compounds into significant transformation. Understanding the power of decision also means recognizing that mistakes or missteps are part of the process. A true decision is not about perfection. It is about commitment, learning, adjusting, and moving forward with persistence. Every choice you make shapes your story, and the moment you embrace your ability to choose consciously, deliberately, boldly, you unlock a force within yourself that is unstoppable, capable of overcoming obstacles, redefining limitations, and opening doors to possibilities that once seemed out of reach. Key point number 3 focuses on overcoming limiting beliefs, which are often the most significant barriers standing between us and the extraordinary lives we are capable of creating. These beliefs are deeply ingrained ideas we hold about ourselves, our abilities, and what is possible in our lives. They are the stories we tell ourselves, sometimes so subtly that we barely notice them, that whisper you can't, it's too difficult, or you're not enough. Limiting beliefs are powerful because they shape our perception of reality. When we believe something is impossible, we unconsciously adjust our actions, our decisions, and even our goals to fit that belief, effectively ensuring that our own doubts become self-fulfilling prophecies. The first step in overcoming them is awareness. You must identify the beliefs that are holding you back, examine where they came from, and question whether they are truly accurate or simply inherited fears, past experiences, or societal messages. Most limiting beliefs are learned, not innate, which means they can be unlearned. The moment you challenge these beliefs, you begin to create space for new possibilities. This process requires courage because it often involves confronting discomfort, uncertainty, and the fear of change. But it is precisely through this confrontation that growth occurs. Replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones shifts your mindset and transforms the way you interact with the world. When you start to believe that you are capable, that you can learn, adapt, and grow, your actions begin to reflect that belief. You take on challenges with curiosity rather than fear, persist in the face of setbacks, and embrace opportunities you might have previously ignored. Overcoming limiting beliefs also requires repetition and reinforcement. It is not a single moment of realization, but a consistent practice of affirming your strengths, celebrating your progress, and consciously choosing thoughts that serve your goals instead of undermining them. Surrounding yourself with influences that support your new beliefs, whether through mentors, communities, or resources, accelerates the process and strengthens your resolve. Once you begin to dismantle these mental barriers, you discover an inner freedom that allows your potential to flourish. Your confidence grows, your creativity expands, and your capacity for achievement multiplies. You no longer let fear dictate your choices or define your boundaries. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than you once imagined. By continuously questioning, challenging, and transforming limiting beliefs, you open the door to extraordinary change, creating a life defined not by fear or restriction, but by possibility, resilience, and the remarkable power that lies within you. Key point number 4 emphasizes the vital importance of momentum through action in creating extraordinary change. Too often, people wait for the perfect conditions, the ideal timing, or the right amount of knowledge before taking steps toward transformation. But the truth is that action is the engine that drives progress. Momentum is not something that happens magically. It is built deliberately, step by step, decision by decision, choice by choice. Every small action you take compounds over time, creating a force that becomes increasingly difficult to stop. Even actions that seem insignificant in isolation, when repeated consistently, generate energy, confidence, and results that far exceed what could have been predicted at the outset. Taking action is also critical because it shifts your internal state. When you act, you move from thinking to doing, from doubt to certainty, and from fear to empowerment. Action generates learning, and learning builds competence. The more you act, the more experience you gain, the more feedback you receive, and the sharper your intuition becomes about what works and what doesn't. Momentum has a way of transforming hesitation into courage. Once you begin moving forward, even imperfectly, the energy created by that movement fuels the next step. In fact, action often precedes motivation rather than the other way around. Waiting to feel ready or inspired is a trap. Progress begins with a single choice to move, and from that first step, motivation grows as you witness results and build confidence. Another key aspect of momentum is consistency. Extraordinary change is rarely the result of a single dramatic effort. It is the accumulation of small, focused actions repeated over time. Like drops of water eroding stone, persistent effort gradually reshapes your reality and creates breakthroughs that would have seemed impossible from the SDA. Ting point. Momentum also allows you to overcome fear and resistance. The longer you remain inactive, the louder doubt and hesitation become. Action disrupts that cycle, creating forward movement that diminishes fear's power and reinforces the belief that change is not only possible, but inevitable when you commit to persistent effort. Momentum is amplified when you pair it with clarity and focus. Knowing your goals and aligning your actions toward them ensures that every step, no matter how small, pushes you in the right direction. The energy, progress, and confidence you gain from consistent action create a snowball effect, where each success builds upon the previous one, making the path ahead feel increasingly attainable. By embracing action as the foundation of momentum, you take control of your journey, transform your mindset from hesitation to empowerment, and set in motion a series of events that propel you toward extraordinary change, demonstrating that the results you desire are not a matter of chance, but the direct outcome of deliberate, persistent movement. Key point number 5 centers on the power of vision and belief as essential catalysts for extraordinary change. Vision is more than just seeing a goal or imagining a better future. It is a vivid, compelling picture of what your life can become when you fully embrace your potential. Belief, on the other hand, is the internal conviction that what you envision is not only possible, but achievable, and that you have the capability to bring it into reality. Without vision, action can lack direction, and without belief, effort can falter under the weight of doubt. Together, they form a powerful combination that drives purpose, fuels motivation, and sustains momentum even in the face of obstacles. When you cultivate a strong vision, you create a reference point for every decision, every choice, every action you take. It becomes a guiding star, illuminating the path forward and helping you prioritize what truly matters. A clear vision instills clarity, allowing you to distinguish between distractions and opportunities, to recognize when you're moving closer to your goals and when you're veering off course. But vision alone is not enough. Belief is the force that transforms potential into action. It is the unwavering confidence that you can overcome challenges, adapt to change, and rise above setbacks. Belief rewires your mindset, influencing the way you interpret experiences, face fears, and persist when results are not immediate. It transforms obstacles into lessons and failures into stepping stones rather than reasons to quit. Both vision and belief work together to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the life you want to create. When you see the possibility and truly believe it is attainable, your energy shifts, your decisions become more decisive, and your commitment deepens. You begin to notice opportunities that previously went unseen, connections that support your goals, and solutions to problems that once seemed insurmountable. Vision expands your perspective, allowing you to think beyond your current limitations and imagine what is possible, while belief provides the courage and resilience to act on that imagination. Cultivating these qualities requires intentionality, reflection, and sometimes the willingness to challenge old patterns or societal expectations that dampen your confidence. Surrounding yourself with influences that reinforce your vision and strengthen your belief accelerates your progress. creating an environment where growth becomes natural and inevitable. When vision and belief are fully aligned, they create a magnetic force that attracts resources, ideas, and allies, turning your goals from distant dreams into tangible realities. This alignment empowers you to take bold action, persevere through challenges, and remain committed to your purpose, demonstrating that extraordinary change is not dependent on luck, circumstances, or talent alone, but on the clarity of your vision and the depth of your belief in what you are capable of achieving.